Society Matters.
Welcome to Ordinary Heroes. I'm your host, Bernie Furshpan, here on HMTV at the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center on Long Island. I'm very excited to have an incredible guest with me. I've been a big fan of his, and him and I were both in the same industry for a period of time. I was, at least. And I'd like to welcome him to our series here, Ordinary Heroes, Modi. Shalom, Modi. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Pleasure to be here with you, Bernie. Thank you.
When did you realize that you had this comedy talent? When did you start performing?
I began doing comedy. I was working in investment banking in the around 1993, and then I used to come home and imitate the secretaries. And then my friends said you should do that on stage. And then I began doing it on stage. And then here we are 31 years later.
Wow, you've been doing it. You look like you're 31. You don't look any older than that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You don't look older than that. I'm shocked to hear.
It's expensive to do that. It's not a cheap feat.
Especially today.
I'm glad that the money's going to it's working out.
And you look terrific, and I love your material. I love watching you, on television and on YouTube, and things have changed though in the last few years. Obviously, there's a shift in the tone of comedy, especially with Jewish comedians, Israeli comedians. Before October 7th, your material often kind of leaned into the Jewish quirks and cultural humor. But how has the rise in anti-Semitism shifted the tone of your comedy sets?
How has the rise of anti-Semitism shifted my tone for comedy sets? So, to be honest with you, on October 7th, I was in Israel. I had just finished a tour of, Sukkot. I had shows all over Israel. It was magnificent. We went to bed, and then Saturday morning we were scheduled to fly to Paris that day for shows in Paris. And the war broke out, and we had to make a decision. Do we or do we not do those shows? And we decided to do those shows. And I did those shows as if nothing happened. An hour and 20 minutes of comedy. And at the end, I began doing Hatikvah. Later on, and I kept doing that, and I still do it. I sing Hatikvah at the end, the Israeli national anthem, which is a song that's called Hope. And I sing that as a part of as your question, what has changed? Also, later on, after October 7th, I began to incorporate the war into the act at the very end, in light ways, not us being victim ways, more of like how amazing we are with the women that go to the missions in Israel, and all the help that the Jewish community has come together. And I put that at the end because I really want to give the audience a respite from the war.
I just got back from Israel, and we were in Rishon LeZion, on Chof Rishon, on a Saturday night, and they have dancing, Rikudei Am, and they have, folk dancing, and you couldn't tell that this country is at war. For some reason, this nation is the most resilient. It's got to be the most resilient in history. We are the product of this resilience, you and I, over the many millennia of people who survived. Both my parents were survivors. My dad, the only survivor in a family of 8. And because he survived, I have to tell his story. And that's what I do here at this museum.
Some call it resilience. First of all, back to what you're saying, everything in Israel seems as though it's completely like there's no war. People are out there doing they're living. Folk dancing, they're going to restaurants, the shows, concerts, arenas, but on the inside,
right,
you feel it. it hits you in waves, like,
Yes.
oh wow, there's hostages, oh wow, there's friends of ours who have kids on the border or in the war. Yes, it's hard to get a reservation in Israel. You sit down at the restaurant, and one of the first things is, did you hear from Abramson? Did you hear from Schwartz? Did you hear from this? Did you hear what's going on there? So that it's it seems like nothing's changed, but we feel it. We feel it. It comes in waves sometimes. Some people are delved in it all day long. But what I try to do is give a rest from it. If you look at my page on Instagram, I don't post harsher news. I'm looking to give you a joke. I know people are scrolling and they're going through all the news channels in Israel and CNNs and all of that. And then when they land on me, at least for 39 seconds to a minute and 39 seconds, they have a laugh.
There's only so much you can have of anything, even chocolate. As much as I love chocolate, after a while, you start getting sick of it and you need a break. You give them an emotional break, you give them reprieve, and it's a wonderful thing. Comedy is a wonderful thing. You said it's like a shield, right? So do you find yourself using humor now more as a defense mechanism to disarm anti-Semitism or help people process heavy times? Do you find that it actually is impactful in their lives, that it actually helps them process because it gives them a break and then they can go back to it and see it from a different perspective?
I'm not fighting anti-Semitism. I am fighting sadness within the Jewish community,
Right.
and bringing happiness and showing the outside the Jewish community. But Baruch Hashem, thank God, my audience now has become not just Jewish, and they are laughing with us. And I can't explain to you what it's like when you're looking out in the audience and you see a woman sitting with a hijab and she's laughing at my show, and she came to my show because she's a nurse that the other nurses brought to go see a comedy night. And I found that that's what makes me, that's what it really is.
It's a wonderful thing. And going back to just backpedaling a little bit about that, even though on the outside people are having a great time, because I went out to dinners, you had to make reservations. I mean, all the places are jam-packed. But we all have PTSD to some degree. It's almost like you lost a loved one, and you're going back to school, you're trying to live your life, and all of a sudden it hits you like, wow, I can't believe that I lost that person. I can't believe that there are still hostages. It hits you. It's like a wave. It's an emotional wave.
It hits you in a wave. I was just driving. The other day I drove for 2 hours, and I forgot to put the radio on. And the thoughts that went through my head, there's this bit in my new act and and then all of a sudden hostages, and then all of a sudden Israel, and all of a sudden it waves. I was so fortunate on my podcast, and here's Modi, I put the intention out when we did our 100th episode that I wanted to have the hostage Omer Shem Tov on, because his face kept appearing in everywhere I was. And then the fact that he came on my podcast and we did a big thing at the Stryker Center, and it was unbelievable that happened. It really kind of like that's where you see hope, and you see Hatikvah, you see hope.
Do you find that you're kind of like an educator in disguise? Because sometimes you can sneak some historical perspectives and pride into some of your material.
110%. And that I do with the Holocaust. I weave in the Holocaust into my act in the most subtle ways, and it is so important. I have a joke now with Joseph Mengele, but I throw that out there. The people who are mine and your age are like, they burst laughing because they know that. And then you see young people's faces like, who is he talking about? And by the way, I say to them, Google that tonight. Go do a deep dive into that tonight, and you'll see it. And that's an educational way. I always try to bring whatever it is from the Holocaust, and survivors told me, this is the most important thing. you have to keep mentioning it. You have to keep bringing it up, making it into the conversation. You know, the joke I have with the Holocaust Museum, how many people didn't even know that that thing existed. There exists a Holocaust Museum. It's one of my biggest jokes that's out there, and it's not amongst the Jewish people. It's amongst the people who are like, what the hell's a Holocaust Museum?
If somebody says something bad against Jews, the worst that could happen is they make them visit a Holocaust museum, which is the stupidest idea ever. You're taking someone who hates Jews into a Holocaust museum. They come out of there, wow! Oh my God, that was amazing! I want a t-shirt!
How do we battle anti-Semitism? We when someone says something crazy, we bring them to a Holocaust museum, which is ridiculous. Even if it's true or not true,
right?
The fact that you're mentioning this, the word
Yes.
Holocaust Museum has popped up into the conversation.
Yes.
And now someone might be, what's he talking about? Google,
Right.
and they dive into it and they share with somebody. And that's the way I can do it. I'm not a Noah Tishby. I'm not writing books, and I'm not, I'm not Ilan Levy. I'm not any of these people who are so articulate and beautifully well versed and speak well. And I do it through comedy by sneaking it in with a joke, and and seeing Mashiach energy come out of that.
It's a beautiful vehicle, comedy, isn't it? It really is.
True, 100%. Well said.
Did you notice any changes with your crowds? Are they a little bit more tense, a little bit more?
No, they need this laugh so bad. I've never seen it.
They do. Yeah, it's a relief. Definitely comedy relief for sure.
100%. The first time I saw it in a massive way, and I began to call it Mashiach energy, was after COVID.
Wow.
People were all of a sudden, if you're talking about PTSD, COVID, we forgot about that completely. That never happened, but we went from theaters that they had to space out people in the theaters. All of a sudden, we're all together. Whenever I did an event for an organization or a synagogue or a theater, that was the first time that they were coming out together with a mask or without, you just saw like, wow, what a relief. And
Right.
we laugh together, and now you see it this is like another level when we all come together as a community with people who love us too, with people who are coming to the show that aren't Jewish, and they are just laughing and singing Hatikvah, and that's Mashiach energy. That's Mashiach energy.
Oh, absolutely. By the way, do you have a last name?
Rosenfeld.
I actually knew it, but I wanted the world to know that you do have a last name. It's not.
When they Google, they find out everything. They get it all in there. And people send me, I'm Rosenfeld in Chicago. Do you know this? Rosenfeld. That's it.
Do you feel like a sense of responsibility when you're on stage to talk more about, the global weight of anti-Semitism, or at least Jewish culture, versus before it was more like a deli culture, dating kind of a material? Do you feel a little bit of a weight, responsibility?
I feel a calling. It's a calling.
A calling, yeah.
A calling, 100% a calling. Responsibility is, when you see me walk on stage, you're seeing the last part of an effort that is made by a team led by my husband, Leo, who runs the agent, the management team, the social media team, the marketing team. The link that you see to buy a ticket for my show, and then the miracle of someone hitting it and buying it, and then being the friend that brings the friends to the comedy show, not just buying a ticket for them and their spouse, but you know what? 6 tickets. We'll find someone to bring. That the wait for me is I'm the last part of that effort. So I need to kill. I need to be funny. That's more. And then the intention behind me, again, is to make people who are sad happy, to bring a little peace, a little levity, a break from what's happening.
Do you have any advice for young comics?
Now is easier than ever to become a comedian. You have social media, you have Instagram. There is one kid that I love his material. I never even saw him do comedy. I've had him on the podcast twice, and I hear he's great, but I've never seen him do comedy. But on Instagram, he is hysterical, and I love him. Dovey Newberg. And I've never seen him do comedy. People are telling me he's hysterical. But right now is, if you think you're a comedian, put it out there. You have an Instagram page. One, two, you get a follower. The followers come, and then you fill a show. If you do well, they'll come back. If you don't, you'll never see them again.
So the opportunity for young comedians is much greater, is what you're saying, because of social media. It's a vehicle to get them into this career. Yeah, we didn't have that. I didn't have that in my day.
So back then, when you wanted to, you had to assemble a mailing list and then make a flyer and put it into the mail. And then if you got an email address, then you can send them an email, hope that they open it doesn't go to their spam and doesn't go.
Right.
Now you are in their face with Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Twitter, whatever you want to get into their face to tell them that you think you're funny.
Modi, you don't even need an agent or a producer anymore. You basically become your own agent, your own producer, and your own marketing consultant. You basically are your whole unit.
Without my team, I'd be nowhere.
Well, you're already very successful. You need a team around you, but if somebody starts out, they at first can be their own agent, their own marketing person, until they make enough money where they can hire a team around them.
Yes, you can definitely start on your own, and then you build your team.
A lot of singers have become famous on Instagram and built a career out of it.
Yes. I was with the head of Instagram, and I literally, we did an event together, and I said to him, I go to him, thank you. I go, just thank you. Thank you. I'm able to sell tickets on your platform. I'm able to connect with my audience on your platform. I'm able to get my jokes out to people on your platform. It's Mashiach energy. It's Mashiach energy that we can reach people like this.
Where do you see the future going? What do you think is going to happen in the next year, 2, 3, 5 years? Do you have any foresight at all, or are you just taking it a day at a time?
Mashiach energy in full. The energy of being at a comedy show and laughing for an hour and 20 minutes. That kind of energy can be 24/7, all year long, all day long. That is the goal. That's the goal. This is what are you gonna say? Put that as an option. Put that as an option. It sounds crazy.
No, it doesn't sound crazy.
But that's what we pray for. That's in the prayers.
Yeah.
Whether you go to synagogue 3 times a day or once a year, the prayer is that we live in a messianic era. And that's you put your podcast together, remind people of the Holocaust so it shouldn't happen again. I do comedy. You're hoping to create that Mashiach energy.
I love it. That's very positive. You're a very positive person. And I know that it rubs off on a lot of people. It certainly rubs off on me when I watch you. I know a lot of people who love you. And I'm grateful that you made the time to talk with me today. Is there any final words you'd like to say to our audience?
Whatever you see online is fine and fun and amazing. Nothing beats a live show. Nothing. My website is modilive.com. There's tickets all over the world. If you have friends in San Francisco, in Atlanta, we're taping another special. Wow, is it funny? Wow, is it? The last special we have out, which is called Know Your Audience, available for everybody. It's on Amazon and on YouTube for free. You don't have to pay anything. We put it out there for you. It's called Know Your Audience, and we have a new one coming out that we're taping in Atlanta on the 10th and the 11th of December. We are in Berlin, we are in Paris, we are in Amsterdam, Vienna, and then also in American shows. So just go, modilive.com, find some tickets. If it's not near you, send it to a friend that's near you, and put in your books. The tickets are not available yet, but with the help of God, April 23rd, 2026, I'm going to be at Radio City Music Hall. I hope to see all of your audience there. April 23rd, put that in your calendar because those tickets are going to go on and they are going to sell out. And that's going to be a night of wow. It's going to be a wow night.
Can you help me get some good seats over there on April 23rd?
You know how to reach our team.
I do.
You're wonderful. You're doing some great things. You really are. You're making a dent in society. You really are. You're lightening our hearts. You're making us laugh, and it's therapeutic, and it's full of love, and full of life. And I thank you for the great work that you do, and keep doing great things. And I thank you so much for joining me today, and your words of wisdom, and your beautiful spirit. Baruch Hashem.
Happy New Year. Do you know that we're in a point now we can start saying Happy New Year? We're in the month of Elul. We're in the month of Ani lo dodi v'dodi li. I'm my beloved is too. God and us are in love right now. And this is time to really wish everybody a happy, healthy New Year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Modi, for being here with me on Ordinary Heroes. You are not an ordinary hero. You are an extraordinary hero.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you very much. Very sweet words.
Thank you.
Bye.
And until next time, this is Bernie Furshpan.